Videos about the oil leak down test to see if you got broken piston rings. 24 hours ago, I put oil in the middle 6 cylinders. I didn't put it in number 1 and 8 because they're up all the way. But what you see is I put in about a half an inch of oil into each piston, and none of it leaked down. Number 2 over here is the one that had the lowest compression. It was so low, it was like about 35, that I thought maybe I had some blown piston rings. But luckily, I took the head in, and the guy told me that cylinder number 2, 3, and 4 had a little bit of leakage in the valves before he took it apart and started working on them. So I'm giving all new valves for the head. So that's how the oil leak down test works. If there was a broken piston ring, the oil would have leaked all down. It's been 24 hours and none. Basically, I can measure this. If I wanted to be more accurate, I could take a ruler and measure to see how much oil leaked down, if any. And I didn't do that. I just I put in about a half inch of oil, and I figured after 24 hours it should have leaked down. I might have used something like WD-40, which is a lot thinner, and it would have leaked down more easily. This is a 1940 Buick. It's in pretty rough shape. It needs restoration. The reason why they call this a fireball engine, take a look at the way the piston is designed. There's a ball there on the piston. That combustion chamber, if you see that indentation there, well, yeah, there, now it's in focus. See that? It's a ball on the piston. And the way that fits in with the head makes a round ball combustion chamber right smack the spark plug would come in. All. See that? Flat top. It's a round ball in the piston head. Would not a flat top like they call it normal piston and B. So that's why this is the fireball engine. '40 Buick straight 8 19. There you go. This is Buick there. Silver, great. I don't know how many miles are on this engine because it's not the original engine anyway. Serial number tells me this is a 1953 engine. Serial number right there, 70,000. 1953 engine started at 69,000, so this is one of the very last of the 53. And 53 is the last year they made a straight 8 fireball engine. Because actually in 53 all the other Buicks had gone to a V8, only the Special had a straight 8. This is a 1940 Special. It's kind of dark in here, so you're not seeing much. That's the oil trickle down test. There's a 1940 Buick with a 1953 straight 8 to replace the original 1940 straight 8 that was in it. If you saw my other 2 videos before, you'll see that I tried to start it and couldn't figure out why it wouldn't start. Turns out it's because the compression was bad. I had a compression ratio 44, 65, 55, 86, 86, 67, 81, and 90. Well, that in itself is not a reason for it to not start. If it was the rings, it would give bad compression, but it probably would have started. It would have smoked. But it was actually not the rings, which I know because I took the head out, if you saw the other video, had it rebuilt, put it back in, and after I got the whole thing all assembled, and I adjusted the valves to like a baseline adjustment. 112, 112, 102, 97, 110, 107, 107, and 105. Major improvement in the compression. Now the reason why the valves is the reason why it didn't start is because if the exhaust valves are bad, well, it's the same as the rings. It's low compression. It's going to have no power. It's going to smoke, and it might not start very easily. But when the intake valves are bad, what happens is it's not bringing gas into the engine. With bad intake valves, every time the piston comes up, it blows pressure into the intake manifold, which means the manifold has no vacuum because all 8 cylinders had bad valves. All 8 of them. All 16 of the valves were bad. Not only does the intake manifold have to have this direction to get the gasoline into the engine, but it has to have it pretty fast in order to produce enough vacuum to atomize the liquid gasoline, never mind vaporize. If you pour liquid gas into that carburetor and the intake valves are bad, you just get gasoline that goes down, drips into the manifold, drips into the cylinders, and it's liquid gas. And liquid gas doesn't burn in a car. It burns out there, but it won't burn. It has to be a fuel-air mixture to start the car. But it wasn't even coming in at all. Because it was, if I had put a piece of paper on top of the carburetor when I was cranking before in those other videos, it probably would have had no vacuum pulling down into the carburetor. No fuel was getting in, so therefore there was no chance that it would even try to start. Now this is, with a 53 the compression is a little bit higher. It was supposed to be 1:15 on a 52 straight 8 with a 6.6 ratio. In 1953 they changed it to a 7.0 ratio, which they didn't actually, in the 53 shop manual they don't specify what the compression should be, but I figure it should be around 118, 119, 120, something like that. Right now 117 and 112, 110, this is pretty darn good. So this car is going to start now. All I really got to do now to start this car is put the spark plugs back in, hook the gas line up to the tank I got in the back, and start it. Super Bowl Sunday, good day to start this car. Let me show you what I mean by a simple adjustment. The valve lash is supposed to be 15,000th of an inch on a fully warmed engine under load. But the shop manual specifies a shop valve adjustment of 118. What you do is you start the car, let it warm up for 20 minutes, and you adjust the valves on the fly to a 118. What I did was I gave it a valve adjustment of 125 cold like this. And when I say cold, I mean it's like 20 degrees outside. It's 45 in here. And this car hasn't started in 30 years. The way you adjust it cold is you got to make sure the valve is open. We got an open valve. I mean, the valve is closed. If the valve is open, well, let me give it. Here's an open valve. There's no rock. There's no jiggle on that at all. It's got a jiggle. And I put the 25 feeler gauge. You pull the rocker arm back. You can crank the engine. Well, let me turn the key on. That'd be a lot of fun. Just for all you backyard mechanics, here's the inside of the car. Put the key on. Say, for example, I wanted to adjust this valve right here. That one right there. Open, and the open. Open, click on that. You leave it when it's the gauge position, 25. Push back roughly, and put the. I'll adjust the. Hooking up the gas to it. Even road gas tank, fuel line all the way up to the front. I'm going to crank this for about 20 seconds. Just to get the fuel up to this general region. And then about 15 seconds. And then I'm going to pour some gas in. It's all ready to start. Just got to wait for the gas to get from the back all the way up to the front. About enough. I don't know how far up the gas has gotten so far, but we're going to Give it the easy way. And with the throttle closed, so I don't blow myself up. Well, it's not got any gas yet. Started, but hasn't got gas up here yet. We'll try this one more time with this. Hopefully this will get the gas up this far. Throttle closed so I don't blow up. Well, I still have any gas yet. I don't know if this carburetor is any good, actually. You want to see something? Move this in a little closer. Oh, a lot of smoke back there, huh? Put this down like this. This way, if I blow up the camera, we're all gonna die. Spray this in with the throttle open. And then get that throttle closed, because this stuff is dangerous. Oh, we got oil too. We got a lot of oil. And we got a lot of smoke. See that oil squirting out of there? Oh, that's good oil. I have no idea whether the water pump is working or not. We'll find out when the engine overheats. Hey, Dad! My mother doesn't know. What I'm going to do is shut it off. Oh boy. I guess you're supposed to put the valve cover on before you run the engine. That's pretty much what valve covers are for. Well, that's a lot of smoke. What's happening is oil is shooting out of all the oil ports that it's supposed to shoot out, but it's shooting all over the manifold. If I didn't turn that engine off when I did, I might have had a fire here, an oil fire. Wouldn't that stink? Well, I'm going to put the valve cover back on and let it run a little bit cleaner than this. And I'm going to put some, because I don't know whether the, we'll work on it some more. But it did start, it does work, it runs great. That's all oil that came out of the, all these oil, where the oil is supposed to come up. I don't think you're supposed to run cars with the valve covers off for too long. That's why we shut it off. Put this on YouTube. Everybody have fun. Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl game starts in about an hour. All right, now that I got the valve cover back on, it won't make such a mess. We'll get this baby started now. Look at that. Oh, you can't really see much. It's smoking. It's smoking where it's supposed to be. Adjust the idle a little bit. I wonder how much longer before this smoke stops coming out. That smoke might be a mouse nest, or who knows what it might be. I'm seeing a whole lot of smoke coming from up front too. That's kind of scaring me a little. Uh-oh. No, that's just oil. That's oil burning off. I hope it doesn't start a fire. That's the manifold that's smoking. This side looks good. It's the manifold that's smoking. That's a lot of smoke. Not too happy about that. I don't know. I think that's just smoke coming off the outside of the manifold that's being blown by the fan. That's a lot of smoke, don't you think, Dad? Take a look. That's all that smoke coming off the manifold. That's still oil on it. It's going to have to burn off. I think smoke coming from the outside of the manifold. Oil that's still on it. It's actually decreasing. The smoke is decreasing. Yeah, there you go. Smoke is coming from the outside of the manifold where I spilled the oil. It's going to be, in another minute or two, it's going to be all gone. Let's turn it off before it starts the fire. I think you got to check out that manifold. That's the oil on the outside of it. Huh? The oil on the outside of it is burning off. Are you sure it's okay? It looks for a fire? I'm letting it air out here. You don't want to start burning it. I don't want to do that. You better get a fire extinguisher out here. Yeah. Right. It's started for a long, long time. We'll give it some rest. Yeah. Check it now where it's coming from now. Yeah. Hello, it's me again. Got the car all fixed up. Everything's running great now. Lubed up, everything. Changed all the fluids. You probably can't hear it now, but the engine is running. Listen. Can't hear a thing, can you? Only kidding. This is not a Packard, this is a Buick. You notice I got no red tire in the back. I took that red one off and used it as a spare, put 4 new sneakers all the way around. Goodyear, steel belted radials. Parking brake probably works, I just didn't bother using it. So long. Hey, there's no cup holder in these things. There's nothing at all. Glove compartment, nothing. All right. I guess I gotta hold the coffee between my knees while I drive and try to steer with my foot.